days of the Hasmonean rule are known for the many battles, mainly with the Seleucid Empire, yet at the same time in many internal power struggles. Some of the two took place within the border of the land of Israel and some throughout the neighboring nations. The Hasmoneans established a network of forts, mainly in the desert area around the Jordan Valley and the Dead Sea. On the face of it, the desert fort seems to be perceived by many as a place of refuge for the ruler. But when examining the essence of the forts throughout, as an example, the Persian Empire, one can see the hierarchy of forts, and the most important were actually used to store treasury, including documents related to the king's land administration, such as the listing of lands and their registration, record of tax, collection, and so on. The fortresses from the Second Temple period played a similar role. These fortresses served primarily as treasuries and administrative centers. I will take the opportunity to invite you to watch a video about the Hyrcania fortress, where I expand on the purpose of the desert fortresses. Herod recognized the benefit of these forts and rebuilt some of them. There are 7 desert forts, which are Alexandrion, Doc, Hyrcania, Herodion, Machaerus, Masada and Kypros. We will concentrate today in Kiprus, while keeping an eye on Doc Fortress. Between Kiprus and Doc are 2 beautiful winter palaces of the Hasmoneans and Herod, which we will elaborate on in a separate video. We are on our way to Kiprus, built on the ruins of a Hasmonean fortress which we don't know its name. Kiprus is the name of Herod's mother, and after her he named the fort. We are on top of Kiprus. We are located above Jericho Valley, as you can see in front of us. We are about a kilometer southwest of the Hasmonean and Herod winter palaces and about 25 kilometers from the outskirts of Jerusalem. There was another purpose for Kiprus, where we are, and Doc Fortress, which is just on the left of the high antenna. Now, as you can see, the amazing valley, this place was one of the most important sources of income for the Hasmonean state and then Herod. You are probably asking yourself, what was the unique income source? The answer in 2 minutes. Both Kiprus and Doc oversees the Hasmonean gardens and then Herod's and the different plantations. As I have already mentioned, Herod built the fortress on top of a Hasmonean fortress, and like any structure that Herod built, he added volume, splendor, and power to it. Herod increased the summit area by erecting high retaining walls, a method he also used in the Temple Mount. Here, as a result of the collapse of the retaining walls, large part of the structure at the top of the mountain were destroyed. The researchers estimate that the retaining wall was 12 meters high. In Kiprus, the remains of an impressive palace were exposed on top of the mountain, which means that even in a fortress with a certain level of military orientation, recreational facilities were included, which also strengthened the claim that Desert Fortress served mainly as a royal treasury guard. In Kiprus were found not only luxurious and ornate rooms, but also 2 Roman-style bathhouses. In one of the bathhouses, an entire bath of Oriental alabaster made of 1 block, and I have no doubt that bringing it to here was a major operation. From the Hasmonean period, only a few walls at the top of the mountain and a guard tower basically ruined in the southern corner of the lower hill have been preserved. If the water needs of the Hasmonean fortress were supplied by the local water sources, then for the expansion of agricultural land, additional water sources were needed. Israel was the only place in the Roman Empire where the Afarcimon shrub, the type of plant called commiphora, grew. Afarcimon is also known by other names, such as bosom, which in Hebrew is perfume. Balsam, balsam, balsamon, all are derivative of the Hebrew name for perfume. Now, due to its importance, there is a dedicated film on this plant and you are welcome to watch it. The Afarcimon grew in the Jericho Valley. It was also grown in the area of En Gedi and Ein Bokek, but the largest plantations were in Jericho. Its products was used for perfumes, for worship. It was used as one of the ingredients of incense in the temple and was also used as medicine. Its value was double the weight of silver as a metal. The fact that in the triumphant procession of Vespasian and Titus, these rare shrubs were also led with the rest of the spoils attests to the importance of the Afarcimon. After the Romans conquered the country, the scope of Afarcimon agriculture greatly expanded, both due to the market demands throughout the Roman Empire and also thanks to technology innovation such as aqueducts to transport irrigation water. The Afarcimon yielded great economic benefit to the kingdom of Judah and the Romans. During the Hasmonean period, runoff water was collected from the slopes and the area around the hill, and the water was led in a short aqueduct to 4 large cisterns hewn on the slope facing Jericho. Yet only the northern pit remained actually just below my location here. Herod designed a water system based on a 20-kilometer long aqueduct, which led to Kiprus water from Prat Spring, also known as Ein Farah, and from Maboa Spring, also known as Ein Poar, to the water cistern built by the Hasmoneans. The beginning of the system for supplying water to Kiprus fort was actually at Maboa Spring, which is the middle spring between the 3 main springs in the Prat stream. It is also the most abundant spring in the Prat stream. At the same time, due to its geological structure, there are extreme fluctuation in the amount of its water flowing, both during the year and between the years. The spring can generate a maximum of 3,000 cubic meters per hour, and in the summer can even dry up. On an annual level, one can expect an amount of water that is between 2 and 3.5 million cubic meters, a significant amount, but due to Maboa Spring instability, Herod built another aqueduct connecting Prat and Maboa Spring so that during the low tide of Maboa Spring, water was drawn from Prat Spring, which is about 6 kilometers west of Maboa Spring. According to Yosef ben Matityahu, the Jewish Roman historian, during the period of the Great Revolt, the rebels captured Kiprus, killed the Roman garrison that was stationed here, and completely destroyed the fortress. Remains of fire were found in many of the rooms, which testify to this. The latest finds here are from the Byzantine period. On the lower part, surface of 20 by 20 meters square, there was a room facing east, but again, not much left out of that. The room was probably a small monastery used by Christian monks. And finally, as usual, a question for you. On part of Herod's aqueduct, a special aqueduct was built 700 years later. What was special about this aqueduct and who built it? The answer will appear in 5 seconds.